Hello there, I'm Jessica. Welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to demonstrate a really easy and fun DIY watercolor card that you could use for just about any occasion. It's really simple and I think that the recipient will enjoy it as well as you while creating it. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, let's talk about what type of supplies you're going to need to make this really cute and easy watercolor card. Since it is a watercolor card, you're going to need some watercolor basics. Obviously, some watercolor. Now, it is my personal opinion that the quality does not matter. Some people will maybe disagree with that statement, but to show you, I'm going to use my most affordable watercolor palette here. This one has only cost me, I believe, $5 or under, and it has a great selection of color, so you could really choose your palette. That's what I will be using for my watercolor. Now, I do recommend using watercolor paper when using watercolor. So, once again, I have some great quality watercolor paper, and I also have some more affordable watercolor paper. And I really, once again, think that's up to you. I get kind of the same results regardless, so you be the judge of that. Just if you have something that works with watercolor, go ahead and pull it out of your stash. I'm really using a lot of what I have in stash since it is still kind of, you know, quarantine time. I'm using what I have on hand. Now you will need some water and a water brush. Once again, I'm not using a top quality brush. This is a round tip though in a number 8. Just in case you're wondering what I chose to use, just grab what you have and make it work. Although I do really like at least a 6, 8, 10 at the most. And that's my personal preference. And you are going to need a straw to do the blow effect that makes these really cute splatters that just look like a lot of fun, really festive, to celebrate any occasion, or a really nice thank you, really anything, right? So you need a straw. I found this in a junk drawer in my kitchen. I don't know, it may have come from some old trip that we took through the drive-thru, but you do need one of these, so we'll put that off to the side. Now, it is up to you as to what kind of sentiment you may want to put on your card. You could definitely hand letter, you could stamp, that is up to you. Here are just some examples of ones I've played with, and I've used stamps personally. And I've played with the color scheme and what they say. And I just like making something like this. Even though it's simple, you could even get your kids involved. I think receiving a homemade card just feels special, like there was some extra thought put into it. And these are really easy and fun, and you could do a couple at a time and then stash them away. So there's the examples there. So I did just bring out a couple of the sentiments I have. I love you, smile, happy birthday, and oh, let's see, what's it say? Oh, happy day or something like that. Use what you have in your stash, or you can hand letter it. I do recommend though waterproof ink if you have it. Just because you can decide if you wanted to stamp first and then do the splatters over the ink, or vice versa, do the watercolor and then stamp over, but that way you don't have to worry that anything's gonna happen to the ink that you stamped. There won't be any bleeding later. So I like this pad here by Ranger. It's an archival ink waterproof proof in the color Jet Black. One other thing I brought out, which was just an optional thing to show, I have a corner rounder. Sometimes I love to punch the corners. I think it looks beautiful. However, just because of the shape that I'm doing, I just kept it very simple with this nice square size. So what to mount your water paper to? Well, some people like to use the actual watercolor paper as their whole entire card and just fold it in half, cut it to size, and decorate the front and right inside. You could use scrapbook paper, you could use cardstock. I'm gonna use something that I've had in my stash for years and have not been using up. So I have this little box here, which came from Michael's so long ago. It was one of their hot buys, so it was only $5. What a great deal. All these beautiful cards in different colors, so I could really, you know, choose the color for my holiday or occasion, and they already come with pre-made envelopes. I do have a scoreboard and I can make my own, but boy do I love to use envelopes or recycle envelopes when I have them. So because I am working with the cards, these are just cardstock cards that are in a 4.25 inch by 5.5 inch, I went ahead and cut down my watercolor paper that I'll be working with into 5 by 3.5. That way when I went ahead and adhered it down, I got the pretty colored border. And then we'll just go ahead and be able to slip it right into, you could write your message inside and go ahead and slip it right into the envelope, and you could decorate that too if you wanted. So really cute, really fun and easy. So last thing I guess I would say is adhesive. A basic tape runner worked great for me for what I am doing. What do you have on hand? Glue stick, mounting tape, I have circle dots, double-sided tape, adhesive rolls. Use what you have in your stash. All right, so let's go ahead and demonstrate how to get this done. And the cool thing is you could do multiple ones at a time if you want to stick with a similar color scheme. So I think that's what I am going to do. I think we'll do like 3 in the same kind of color scheme. Also did pull out a nice thick napkin here for blotting my brush when I'm changing colors, or I am on a Teflon craft mat. And if anything drips on here, it's really nice. Nothing really soaks through, but I could quickly pick it up. So I've got some napkins off to the side. Okay, let's go ahead and actually get this project started. I think I really want to work with fun, bright colors just because I love bright colors and I feel like they're cheerful and can be used for pretty much anything. So, and I've got 3 out so that I can do 3 all at once. Since they're gonna kind of be wet, you don't want to go too fast and do the splattering all on one. They could tend to bleed. And also I'll show you another thing that if you have, you may want to possibly use. We'll get to that. But get your water, pick your color, first color. I'm gonna do probably at least maybe 5, maybe more, depends on where I want to place it. But I'm gonna use the same color scheme on all just to make it easy. So here we go, I got this fun pink color. Now the trick is to kind of make a circle. You don't want it too wet and you definitely don't want it too dry. Just simply fill it up and blow. All right, so I got my splatter there. Now they don't always come out perfect. One little trick you could do is while it's still wet, go over. I would have liked a couple rays that way. Just add a little bit of water here out the line. Let's see if I could get any more. All right, well, that's good enough. I'm fine because we have many more colors to go. I'm gonna set that one over. Let's place one here. Now before I go back in, I'm gonna just do a small dip into my water. Just a very small dip to get a little bit more. Back into the color here. Let's pick a different spot. Make sure that it's wet enough, but not too dry either. And you could rotate it and kind of blow in different directions to kind of control it. If you get, you'll get a good ones that will really just splatter all at one go. But what makes it fun is they're all unique. And when you're done, it's really cute. Back into my water, back into the color. All right. Just pick another spot. Alrighty. And below. Okay, great. Let's go ahead and change the color up. Dip that into my water. Now, one thing you might want to do is kind of maybe let it dry between colors, or go ahead and just pick opposite ends when you pick your next one, because these are all pretty wet. You could also use a heat tool, but remember, since this is wet, you really don't want to blast that, or you're going to create some crazy splatters that don't really look too attractive. So I'm going to put this on the lowest setting and hold it high. All right, let's move on to the next color. Make sure that my brush is pretty clean. Let's go in for another fun color here. I'm gonna go with a green. I think I'm gonna go with kind of a bright green. So get it nice and wet so that it's in the barrel of my, it's in the bristles of my paintbrush there. Get a nice wet, not too sopping wet, but a nice wet little dot there. Then we're gonna blow. Cute. And I got a little green paint. There we go. Love these Teflon mats. If you do a lot of art, you don't have one, just look it up on Amazon. You could get a pack of 3 for pretty affordable, and they last forever. They last a long time at least. You could do a lot of hard work on it. All right, dipping back into the water, getting more green, picking a different location on the next card. Nice, and let's blow. Cute. Didn't have quite enough water on that one, so I'm gonna go back in just a teeny bit. You want to go right barely over the edges of your circle, just barely. That will allow it to spread again. Okay, look at that, that was a good one. All right, okay, so I'm gonna keep going picking colors. I think you guys kind of get the hint. Maybe I'll do one more color and then I'll do the rest sped up. So let's see. I love yellows. I love blues. I love orange. Let's do a purple. What color should we do next? Let's pick a blue shade. Or a teal. What should we do? I think I'm gonna go with this one right here. Fun blue. All right. Brush down. Below. That was a good one. Move on to the next. Now you could really just leave it like that and go ahead and put your sentiment if you like the way that looks, or keep adding color. Alright, so these are the 3 cards that we made, and I want to go ahead and just mount them quickly onto some cards here and then stamp them with some sentiment so that they are ready to go. So it is currently early June. I do have 2 birthdays this month, and there will also be Father's Day. I do have one happy birthday. I think this is in a color that one of the females will like. I do have 2 female birthdays. Father's Day I'm going to give to my husband. So let me see. He'd probably like either the green or the blue. And they're both really stunning. I think I'll go for green. For the other birthday, she's very feminine, so I'm gonna go with this pinker shade here for the other birthday. And then let's make the other one kind of generic, like thinking of you or something like that, or a thank you, something like that. Depends on what stamps I have closest to me. So we'll just pull one of those out, and let's do yellow, since one of the cards, just based on placement here, I got yellow on 2. I did not get yellow on this one. I think yellow is a pretty fun color, cheerful, thinking of you color that you could send to just about anybody. And then we will do the other cards like so. Okay, so I'm gonna take just this simple Elmer's tape runner and quickly adhere them down to the cards. Okay, next step is stamping what I want the fronts to say. So this one here is going to be a happy birthday. So I'm just going to be using some block stamps. I do have quite a few rubber stamps that you could put on acrylic block if you have those. Those work obviously just as amazing. This was the simplest thing for me to dig through and pull from. There's also another stamp that I pulled out that I would like to do on the back of the cards here. I have a couple like made with love, made for you, to or from. This one says made just for you because you are priceless, and it has this cute little barcode with zeros on it, obviously because they're priceless, and it is a homemade card, so I like to kind of put those in the back as if it was like an actual brand or there was a price to the card. This is a stamp I bought many years ago, and it's one of my favorites to use on anything I do handmade. So I will also be stamping the back of the cards with this. I think, okay, I don't have anything that says Father's Day, but digging through, I found hugs and kisses. I thought, why not for my husband or for my son to give the card? We're gonna do the green. I think we're gonna do hugs and kisses. And then just the bright yellow card, I think we're gonna do a thinking of you. And I am going to use the waterproof archival ink in Jet Black by Ranger. All right, so that is today's DIY on these really fun and festive DIY watercolor cards that I think just about anybody can create, and who wouldn't enjoy one of these fun creations, especially during this very unique time in our history when we have been distanced from each other. You can't always get to the store and get a card that has been pre-created, so why not pull out your stash and get a little creative and send something that is gonna feel really thoughtful to the recipient. I now have all 4 cards that I will need for the month of June, so I'm all set. I did mount them. I even stamped the back, and I have my cards. Now these cards, luckily, were already in the cardstock box that I have. As I mentioned, if you have a scoreboard, or you can watch many tutorials that are already out there that will show you how to make an envelope. If you would like me to show you how to make your own envelope, let me know in the comments down below. Also, let me know what you thought about this video, if you enjoyed it, if you have any questions. I mean, I would love to hear anything or any thoughts that you have, and I will try to respond to you, so put that down below. And if you would like to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button to come back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well, being safe, positive, and happy. All my love and light and blessings to you. Until I see you next time. Bye-bye, my friends.